Hey everyone, Chris here. It's a few days before Christmas, and I was really kind of hoping to take some time off with the family. I have all my shoots for the BBC on autopilot at the moment, and things are looking good. However, I wanted to take a little time and work on a small personal project to build up a little bit of extra content. I've learned a lot in the last few years, but I'm unable to show any of the footage that I've been working on due to the contract with the BBC. And Green Planet's not going to air until 2022, so I wanted to take some time and put together some fresh material that I could use in a show reel and show some producers. I decided to focus on mushrooms because they go pretty quickly and I've always wanted to learn how to cultivate them. The first shoot involved blue oysters, and that one actually went pretty well. I was really pleased with the results. Next on the list was lion's mane, and after reviewing the results, it was pretty clear that I had a few problems and I had some things I need to work on. First off, the set was terrible. I had a couple things happen with some shoots with the BBC that I had to jump on, and I couldn't dedicate enough time to it, and then we got hit with a snowfall, which kind of made things even worse because I had a hard time going out and foraging for good set material out in my yard. The end result was mostly just branches and logs. My dogs are over here. Branches and leaves, and it was just really kind of a boring, dry looking set. I just wasn't happy with it. The next problem is the humidity was not where I needed it. I've used all kinds of humidification systems in the past, and the ultrasonic ones do good on producing humidity, but they also can fog up the set, which you see in the resulting footage. And they can also leave mineral deposits that can gum up fans and destroy equipment over the course of time. I wasn't able to keep the humidity high enough for the lion's mane, and it ended up yellowing and didn't get that really nice shaggy appearance. I need to keep it around 85 to 90%. Also on this set, I want things to look lush, wet, and green. I don't want it to look dry. And in order to do that, I created a humidity system that sprays mist out over the entire set, and it connects to my intervalometer, so it'll spray out at specific times and keep a very nice, uniform, even wet appearance to the whole thing. And it also creates a very high pocket of humidity right around the mushrooms so they can grow up really nice and healthy and develop very well. I'm really excited about this. The Golden Chestnut Mushrooms is what we're working on next. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, but the first thing I need to do is I need to get that set cleared out. And these mushrooms had been sitting in the spawn block on my counter over here for a while, and they just now started to pin. I honestly didn't think they were going to. So now I'm kind of scrambling at the last minute to get this put together. But I've already sourced some plants from local nurseries I'm going to be putting into the set. And I think in general, this is going to be a much nicer set and way better looking. I'm really excited about this, but in order to get started, first thing we do is we have to clear out the set because I got a whole bunch of stuff in there and it's a mess. So let's go ahead and get started. Go. This is the set. I'm way happier about this than I was with the last one. This is the humidity bag that the spawn block is inside, so the whole thing is down inside the set. So I got a lot of live plants on here, which I'm excited about. I need to wet this entire thing down before I start, but the next steps, I want to go get another plant for here. And I want to get another one for here, just because I want to build up the edges, the corners on either side, just to give myself the most amount of room so I can hit it with the most angles. And if I can find something long and viney, maybe I'll put it up there. I've got plenty of fake plants that I can put in if I need to break it up, but fake plants just look fake. Real plants look real. We got lots of different elements. Got pine cones, got wood. Some of it's just bark. Some of it's trees that are splintered and broken. A lot of leaf litter and peat moss. So that's going to be next step is go get myself some lunch. And then I'm going to set a camera up and I'm just going to start seeing how many angles I actually have in here. And then once I know that, I'll know what exactly I need to fill the edges, if anything, in order to kind of help it out a little bit. Okay, now that the set is done, it's time to start packing it with some camera equipment. I'm really pleased with how that looked. I think everything looks really natural and really nice in there. So I'm going to need it to set for a couple days and just continue to get sprayed so everything can really kind of work into its place. To film this, I'm going to be using a 6-axis system from Kessler that I put together, and it's going to be doing multi-lapse. So that one camera on it, which is a 5D SR from Canon, is going to be capturing 3 separate time lapses. I'm kind of thinking about doing one that's kind of a low slide, another one that's a high to low, and then another one that's going to be taking a little bit more of a diagonal approach. Along with that, I've also got a 4-axis kit from eMotimo using a Spectrum ST4. My goal is to put that really high up in the set and looking almost straight down if possible. And then I got a couple extra cameras that I'm going to be using for static cameras. So I want to get as much out of this as I possibly can. Even though it's the same cluster of mushrooms, you hit it up from a bunch of different angles. You can even flip the footage in post and do all kinds of things to make it look like you're actually filming multiple sets of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting the cameras put together and put in there, and let's see how this goes. Okay, here's the set. And something I want to show really quick. See if I can get you through to see this. There is the humidity sensor, and I am sitting at 68 degrees and 87.9% humidity, and that's because the tent's open. So I've been keeping it really humid in here. I'm really happy with how well this has been going. And I didn't want this set to look dry. I felt that was the biggest problem with the lion's mane, is everything looked dry. So I had a whole bunch of plants in here now, and I've got a misting system set up here, and you can see those misters. So every 15 minutes, it just sprays out for 5 seconds. It's a very uniform, very even amount, and it keeps the humidity level in here very high. Here's my misting system. This is a long-term time-lapse controller I built for long-term rigs. So normally this would go out into the field somewhere in a box with a camera. And it's got a couple of relays that it can control. So what I did was I just adjusted the programming on this and kind of added in a new feature for misting. So if I'm on here, hopefully you can see that. Okay, here we go, maybe. So that's when the next frame is going to be, but if I go through the settings, I have the interval of 15 minutes, target interval, so I can ramp intervals with this. How many ramps frames, delay frames, trigger duration. And this seems to be rebooting itself. I'm not sure why. Now, this early in the game, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm just going to give it a better power, but that's one of the things I got to pay attention to. So I have this entire thing, mist thing set up. I've got the eMotimo or the Spectrum. I'm 90 frames in, and I'm using manual intervals or manual controller, external intervalometer. This is actually triggering all of it. This goes over to a splitter that I made, and it's kind of a smart splitter. I can reprogram it for different purposes, and it's going to be triggering everything. Now, this, unfortunately, the Kessler rig will not do external intervalometer while I am doing multi-lapse. So I'm going to have to set this for 15 minutes, and we're just going to keep everything at 15 minutes, and hopefully that works out. In fact, I also want to make sure, double check, triple check, because I want to give myself at least 12 days of shooting here, and I want to go about 1,000 frames on each one of these. So in fact, I'm going to have to take a look at this. This says 1,000. I'm going to have to check quite a few things on here, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh, just took a picture. I'm going to go ahead and get everything started. I'm going to go ahead and program this, and we'll show you the programming on it. Okay, if you hear a bunch of weird noise, that's because I have 3 huskies, and they're all around my feet right now. And you got a lot of tails, stuff going on here. Anyway, everything is set up. I'm really happy with how the set looks. I could not be happier with it. We'll see how the end result is. This misting system is a little bit experimental, because it's going to blast the exact same time, and that works with the intervals. So it's always going to be the same amount of time between one image and the next as to when the mist came down, and it's always the same amount of mist every single time. So I think it's going to work well. I'm really excited about it. All the cameras are set up. I did not include the setup process for the Kessler multi-lapse in this video. There will be another video right on the heels of this that includes that. It was just it's a longer process. I mean, not really long, but it was about 15 minutes worth of video, maybe 20 minutes of video, and I don't think everybody wants to sit through and watch all of that. You might not be interested. As for the resulting footage of this, at some point I hope to be able to air it, but right now my focus is just putting together kind of a show reel that I can show some producers so they can see the quality and the caliber of work that I'm doing these days, because I've been working on this BBC contract for some time, and I've learned a lot, and my studio is bigger, and it's just been like this constant ramp up. And the last few years, I've really been able to sink in and get some really good footage going. So first off, definitely wait for BBC Green Planet, going to come out in 2022. You're going to love it. And then also, I hope you enjoy this. And I'm probably going to be putting out quite a bit more of these videos. I've always enjoyed doing behind the scenes and how-to videos. And I think I'm really going to be working in depth on motion control and how to use motion control systems, different techniques that you might not have thought of on using them, and things like that, and also actually show me using them on sets like this. So I hope you like this. I hope it's something you enjoy. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and all that other YouTube bullshit. But if you enjoy this kind of stuff, definitely do that, because I'm going to be putting out quite a bit of content for now on. So thank you very much.